What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on these analysis. We're going to be looking at MSTR today. So as you can see, we have been trending upward up this long-term sloping trend line. This thing has been respecting it very well for multiple times. And now it looks like we got our bounce off of it, and now we're just struggling to get through this zone here, which so happens to be that golden zone that we've been talking about. We'll see what actually ends up happening here. We started off the month pretty hot, and then we got a lot of rejection. If you take a look here at the weekly, you can see it a little bit better. As you can see, we have 3 red weeks in a row so far, 2 in a row, and we're currently red at the moment. Looks like we could be pushing towards that 400 target that we were talking about. We made it pretty close the other day at around 402, and we're currently sitting at 404.5, and we closed at 403.8. We are coming to a very critical area. As you can see, we're running out of space. We don't have much space here. We're very close to that upward sloping trend line. So we could really be making a huge decision here. If we were to fall through, that would be kind of brutal. The only saving grace that we would really have at that point is this downward sloping trend line, and then maybe this last level of support. So hopefully if we were to break, we find support there or off of this next level here at around 358 to 360. So hopefully one of those levels catch us if we actually end up falling. Hopefully we don't even get to that point and we just chop sideways until we meet this trend line, and then we bounce, hopefully get a close above this golden zone, and then we can fight our way through this key level of resistance here that we've been rejected at a couple times, as you can see, and then ideally close above that and then make our way up, hopefully free price up a little bit. We couldn't even really get much of a solid move over this level here, which was the key level that we were looking at. We ended up getting a lot of rejection. As you can see, the past 2.5 weeks have been kind of rough. Here on the daily, we had 2 pretty low volume days, and then we had a very large red candle there. You can see actually the volume was pretty dead too here as well. It's been pretty low for the most part. As you can see, where we line up, the past 3 days on average have been around this area, and you can see the other days have been a little bit higher than this level. Today's volume was 6 million, 6.9. Yesterday's volume was 8.3, and the day prior was 7.4. So as you can see, the volume has dwindled down. Like I said, when we had our aggressive moves to the upside, like our blow off tops, we were seeing crazy volume all the way up to 100 million in a day, 70, 55, 50.9. So you can see we're way behind, 32 million. So hopefully we can start to kick up. Of course, we can't expect too much because Bitcoin hasn't gone anywhere either. It's kind of just been stuck on that upward sloping trend line, which we'll touch a little bit on. But overall, the trend is still bullish. As bad as it's been feeling, the trend is bullish. So we're creating higher highs and higher lows. We have broken our trend line. If we were to just take it from here, you can see we fell underneath that. So maybe we push up and we find some rejection off of this key level of support and resistance, along with confluence with this upward sloping trend line. But the most important trend line that we're going to be looking at is this gray one here, which is the bottom of the channel. That's going to be the key level that we have to hold. When we look at the fib, let's see where we're at. It looks like we're kind of in the same area. Yeah, we're still halfway between the 0.5 and the 618, so we're still sitting in the golden zone. Hopefully we can bounce off of it instead of falling through, because once we fall through, then it's going to be a level of resistance on top of all the other resistance that we have. So price is really just sandwiched right now, and we still have our bearish golden zone from this top over here. As you can see, that is that golden zone there, which we tried flipping to be as support, which we tried, and then we fell through. So hopefully we can try again and actually be successful this time and push up higher. And if we were to measure this golden zone a little bit different, instead of taking it all the way from up here, we take it to this level here, which seems more, I guess, ideal. Then this golden zone is actually, it actually wouldn't even be here, and the golden zone would actually be over here. And we would have already used it as support, got a double bottom off of it, and pushed up higher. And now we're actually bouncing off the 786. So that's a different perspective to look at it. Not sure which one's the right one. I think the other one has been playing out pretty well, but this also does make sense if you were to take it from this level, just because these are the key levels that price was at. And you can see that this was really just a blow off top that only lasted just for the early morning of that day. Let me put that back. There you go. All right. On the weekly RSI, we have fallen underneath our yellow moving average, so we are losing a little bit of steam and momentum to the upside on the weekly for MSTR. And on the daily, we lost a lot of our momentum. We got a nice little double top and we fell off, and it's been a continuation to the downside. So hopefully this thing can revert and start to flip back. We have fallen underneath our midline as well at the 50 mark. You can see that right here. Which has been acting as a key level of resistance and support along the way. So now it is going to be acting as resistance. So hopefully we can get a V-shaped recovery, kind of make our way back up. On the weekly MACD, we had our red flip and we got the green again, but we're already losing momentum. So this thing might flip back red once again. We'll see where it takes us. We are losing a lot of momentum, but we are still holding above our orange moving average. So hopefully the blue moving average gets a bounce off of it and it starts to separate to the upside like we saw in this move over here. But of course we need more momentum on Bitcoin if we really want to see a nice exaggerated move to the upside. Without Bitcoin, getting a very aggressive move, we're probably not going to see that on MSTR. We'll just trend sideways and down. We are holding our level currently, but we'll see where it takes us when we take a look on Bitcoin. On the weekly, we actually closed outside of this key level, this upward sloping trend line, which is a huge deal. But we are still in our bull pennant and we got rejected off of it. So it's still playing out. It's still holding higher lows, I guess you could say. If you were to exclude this wick over here, and we just take those, it's kind of just creating higher lows kind of for the most part. Nice structure. We'll see what happens once we finally make our decision to break out. I think actually once we break out, we could still get rejected off of here and then retest and then hopefully actually get the confirmed breakout. But this could still be a breakout currently. We still have 2 hours and 54 minutes. You never know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Ideally, we want the daily to close back above here and this turn into a nice wick and the momentum take this thing up higher, and we can start looking at higher price targets and start talking about this wick up here and all that kind of stuff. But right now, our key levels of resistance outside of the trend lines would be that level right there. So we have confluence. We have this upward sloping trend line. We have this key level right here. So there's a lot of things holding price down potentially. We'll see where it takes us. And when we take a look at the SMAs, the daily 20 is actually holding up pretty well. We broke underneath it and we actually made a little move to the upside. And on the daily, on the weekly, we're still far above. And on the 4 hour, we're actually underneath the 20 and the 50. So we are finding a little bit of resistance off of that. Hopefully if we break that, then that'll allow us to make it to the top of the channel again to retest and see if we can actually break it. We've already had 4 significant moves to the top of this trend line here. You had 1 there, 2, 3, and already 4. Of course, there's been multiple touches along the way if you take a look at the 4 hour, but overall it's been 4 moves in general that we've tried to break and we failed. So hopefully we can actually get the real move this time. This was the closest thing because we actually got to close outside of it, which is incredibly bullish, but now we fell back in. We'll be keeping an eye out on the daily and the weekly as we continue on. and we'll see where this takes us. Like I said, this is a very bullish projection. As you can see, if you take it all the way up there and we measure it out, it takes us to higher prices of around 131. And if we shrink it and realign that to down here, then that potentially takes us to around 127. That's all I have for you guys here on MSTR and Bitcoin. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.